Hello, today I'm going to talk about sound recording. There are many different ways to record your sound, but what's usually common in the film industry is using a separate recording device or separate sound. There's usually a whole department that is just dedicated to sound on set. So you'll have the camera team which just catch the visuals, then the sound team that catch the sound, obviously. Right, there are many things you need to know about recording sound if you're going to do it separately, obviously. First of all, microphone choice depends what you're doing. So if you were going to be recording voices, say you were recording a conversation between two people, ideally what you'd want is a shotgun mic, which is one of these. The reason these are so useful for that sort of situation is the fact that you can get good sound quality when it's pointing at the person, the subject you want. You can also make them sound differently depending on where you poke in the mic. So if you notice, when I poke it up like this, it's not currently pointing at me, so it's actually taking the sound that's bouncing off the top of the roof of my room. The other type of microphone that you have is one of these. So it's a dynamic microphone. This will catch any of the sound in any direction. This will pick up all the sound. The bonus of this is the fact if you're shooting outside and you want some environmental noise, you want to pick up some noise of some streams or some birds tweeting and that kind of thing, you don't know exactly where the noise is going to be coming from, so it's very difficult to pick that up with a shotgun, and then you'll just have to build it up one by one anyway. So it makes it much easier using one of these. Right, second of all piece of kit you're going to need if you're going to record sound is the cable, which is this blue thing here. This blue thing comes out the back of the microphone, just like that. You can see that? Which then takes the sound to your recording device, which I have here. This is what I've got and what the college uses. It's a Tascam DR40. What this is basically an audio recording device. It has its own built-in microphones. It has stereo recording capabilities and mono recording capabilities, which is what I'm using now. Next piece of kit you're going to need, headphones to plug into the side of the audio kit, because the difference is when you put your headphones on, it's going to sound a lot different to what it's actually sounding like without headphones on, because the sound that you're going to hear through your headphones is the sound that's picked up by the microphone and no other sound. So with a shotgun mic, it's extremely important because you need to know what sound's coming from wherever you're pointing your microphone. So the other thing that is very useful having if you're going to record outside especially is something that we call a dead cat, which is what I have on this microphone right now, this fluffy thing. Now the reason we have this is for one main reason, which I'll take it off now and you'll find out exactly what I mean. Right, I've got the microphone here. It doesn't sound much different, but the one difference it's going to make is if I do this. That horrible noise when I blow it, and the wind noise outside. That's the kind of noise you're going to get if you don't have a dead cat in it. But if you do have a dead cat in it, what's going to happen when you blow on it is this. No wind noise. Or not horrible wind noise, put it that way. It's very useful if you are recording outside, because there is going to be wind regardless of really where you're going to shoot, unless you're very lucky and it's a dead wind day. But they're very useful to have just in case, because also if you're recording interviews and people are breathing really heavily and that kind of thing, if you haven't got the dead cat on, it's going to crackle up and sound horrible. Right, now I'm going to pause this and I'm going to show you how to actually use the Tascam. Right, now I'm using the DSLR built-in microphone. You're probably going to be able to tell that the sound quality is nowhere near as good as what I had before. Right, now I'm going to show you how to use the Tascam, which is this little thing. I'm also going to show you sound quality with these mics here. A lot of interviewers use them as carry them around as a quick thing that you can quickly point in someone's face to get a good interview, or just a quick, no, not a good interview, but a quick sound interview, and it's better than trying to record it on most things. So, to turn the Tascam on, what you need to do is you need to press this button here. So, this one here, that's the power button. So if I press that, you're going to see light up Tascam DR40. Right, now what's just come up now is a thing that says phantom power. What you want to do is you want to click yes for that, because the thing is, with that, what it's going to do is that's going to put power to your microphone. You don't want your most microphones will need power to them unless they've got batteries or some other power source going to them. So, now you've got your Tascam at this screen here, which looks like this. That's not helping at all. There. Basically, if you can't see that, it's got recorded already, number of recordings there, effects, decibels, anything like that. Right, so if you wanted to start recording something now, what you'd have to do is you have to press that button once. Now it's flashing, that means it's ready to start recording. Then what you're going to do, press it again, then it holds on red. Now, the reason that's not showing any levels is because that's trying to come through the external microphone jack that I was using before. So what I need to do is I need to go into the settings, which what I did is click record mode, which is there, click that, then go to record mode, that's at mono, which is okay, I'm not too fussed about that, but I go to source. That's important when you're using these. You go to source, go across like that, click that, and then what you can do is you can change it. And I want to change it to INT mic mono. That's the internal microphone. Basically now what that's going to do is allow me to use these two rabbit ears that are at the top of the Tascam. So now what's going to happen is when I press the record button, you're going to see these levels are jumping about. That thing's now jumping about, and record. That's not recording sound. That's ready because this is flashing. So now what happens is when I click record on this, now as you can see the audio is much improved. The difference is that this can record sound a lot better than most things. So that's really the Tascam, to be honest. So when you want to stop recording, what you do, press that. That then puts it on pause. If you wanted to stop it fully, click the stop button, which is this one here. Also with the Tascams, what you will need to do is you'll need to format it, which is in, you click this button for menu. Then what you have to do is go to other, click that, go systems, and then at the bottom it says full format. You can see that? Full format, if you needed to do that. So there you go. That's the Tascam DR40. One other thing, like I said before with the phantom power, to turn on the phantom power on here, you use this little slider thing there. Another thing, when you're recording sound, is what you'll need to do is work with your levels. Right, the way that levels work is the input of the microphone, how loud it is, how much signal's coming in. So basically what you want to do is you want to have the best sound you can possibly have. So what you really want is you want it as loud as you possibly can, but you want a big noise, sound to noise ratio. This is basically the sound that you want over the noise you don't want. So you want the biggest difference you possibly can with that, because the problem is, if you don't do that, you want to turn up your audio, it's going to sound really bad, as it's also going to boost up your noise, and you don't want to boost up your noise, because then you won't be able to understand what's coming through if it's dialogue, or it'll just sound terrible. So to turn up the level, what you do is you use this button at the side. There's an up and a down button. Now the thing with the Tascams, you can turn that up, mess with that as much as you like, but if what you want to do is you want to turn down your volume a little bit to make sure it's not blowing your ears off, because that's going to hurt, it's not good for your ears. But with levels, as you can see, when I'm talking, you can see this little bar moving. So if I talked really loudly, straight into the top of the microphone, then you can see that it's peaking. You don't want that, because all that means is it's going too far and the sound isn't being recorded properly, and it'll sound horrible, distorted and everything like that. So what you really want is a nice in between, kind of like I've got there, where it's not too loud but it's just enough that every time I speak it's going up by a lot, because there's a little bit of noise if I talk really quietly and I'm still getting the noise. You don't want any noise in your audio, you want the sound you want, because if you don't get that sound properly, it's going to be a horrible recording. That's it for Tascams. Thank you. Bye bye.